name na Soko Sholanke. Me na the original Creole girl from Salon. Not the Tomasa Joss normal. I'm here to introduce Dr. and Jackery Damages.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. My name is Dr. Damages. We're coming to you from the greatest city in the world,
New York City.
Yes. New York City is so great that we are selling off Kola Aloko's $50.9 million apartment.
Hey.
Did you hear the story? We don't play in New York City. We are selling it off.
Yes.
Nigeria's playboy Kola Aloko has not paid his bills in months.
Hey.
He has not paid his maintenance fees. He has not paid his mortgage. He has not paid his taxes.
Hey.
Oh, taxes. We don't play with taxes in New York. No, we don't play. We can play with anything but not taxes. The foreclosure is called the biggest residential foreclosure in New York City history.
Yes.
The biggest, 50 million. The man is gone. The man is finished. Kola's apartment is in a luxury skyscraper called 157. You get on Park Avenue over there. You know the building. You used to clean up the building before. An apartment there, full floor apartment there, sold for $100.5 million just a few years ago. That was where your brother used to own a $50.9 million apartment.
Before running to foreclosure.
How much is your apartment? You are laughing. How much is your apartment?
$1 million.
Now, Kola, for those who do not know, is a friend of Jay-Z, Beyonce, Naomi Campbell, and Leonardo DiCaprio. These are his friends. But in New York City, we don't care.
Yes, we do care.
If you don't pay your bills, you forfeit your house.
Exactly.
That's how it is, We don't care. I'm sure that Kola Aloko did not run to his famous friend for help. I'm sure he didn't. If he did, they would have said to him the same thing my homeboys in Brooklyn said to me.
Yes.
Nigga, go and take care of your business. That's it. They don't care.
The N word.
They don't care. Yeah, nobody cares. Even Kola Aloko's 213-foot yacht, the Latika Star, I know you've never been in one, is also a target of seizure. They want to seize the thing. Yeah, that is the boat. The boat that he rented to Jay-Z and Beyonce for $900,000 for a week. A week. Now, since the government of Nigeria, they've been looking for him. He's been sleeping inside the boat, in and off the boat. He can't step on the ground. They're looking for him. They're looking for him. Now, the sign that Aloko was in trouble has been clear for a while. Last year, he sold his $14.7 million Beverly Hills, California house that he bought in 2012 for $13 million.
Wow.
Do you know how much money he lost? He also sold an apartment on Fifth Avenue over there. Over there. That he purchased. He sold it below price, the cost price.
No.
That's a sign of trouble. just so you know, the millions and millions that I've been talking about, it's your money. It's your money. You. It's your money. Aloko is a friend and a business partner of Nigeria's former Minister of Petroleum, Desiani Alison Badeke. You remember her? Former President Jonathan's sweet Brent. These are the women that when Jonathan sees, and he will do that, his famous handshake, and then after that, he will do this one. I know. Anyway, Aloko and Desiani Madeke together are accused of stealing over $1.7 billion from Nigeria's oil proceeds. $1.7 billion. Now, I will pause for that one to sink in. I'm not making it up. It's in New York Post newspaper, not even in Sahara. I'm not making it up. $1.7 billion. Now, let me pause again for you to die.
It's either you should knock yourself back to consciousness because your brain traveled, or knock stupidity out of your head.
Let me knock off the stupidity in my head. What are you doing in America? $1.7 billion. Nonsense. In all these transactions, Aloko probably lost tens of millions of dollars. Now, here is Aba Port Harcourt Road yesterday. Just look at the road.
Wow.
This is it. With a few millions, that road will have been fixed for the people where they get this oil. But where is the money? It's in the pockets of people like Aloko and Desiani. Look at the road. the likes of Alukandezani, they use the money to buy penthouses in big cities all across the world.
Wow.
Now they can't afford to pay. They can't steal money more. They can't afford to pay more. Yeah, they can't afford to pay. Now the houses are being foreclosed. All the money they put in there lost. Yeah. Meanwhile, what do we do? What are we doing about all these things? We are busy doing what this little girl has been doing. What?
The Lord na my shepherd. I dey campaign. He make me sit down for where better the flow.
I know. We're just praying. I dare campaign. That's not what we're doing. We're not taking any action. How do you think something will change? Those of us who are not busy praying are busy doing this. I know. That's it. We're just basically wasting our lives, and these people are stealing all the resources we have. Now, this is the bottom line. Baba.
A nation that has more than 5.7% of the world mineral deposits, and people are suffering. Some people think Nigeria belongs to them, but Nigeria belongs to all. God will destroy all of them. Nigeria is the most backward society in the world.
I know. Nigeria is the most backward country in the world.
Yes, I agree to that.
Yeah, indifference. We are indifferent. We don't care. Corruption is a problem for Nigeria. But it's not just Nigeria only.
Yes.
The problem is all across Africa,
yes.
Even in Sierra Leone. Corruption has a green card in Africa. In Kenya, the election is coming up in August.
Yes,
and corruption has taken the front and back, center of everything. It's all about corruption. If the National Super Alliance candidate, Odinga, upsets the president, Uhuru Kenyatta, in the August 8th election, Dr. Dames will be there. It will be a proof that corruption must have played a role. If there's an upset, I'm telling you, you will never believe this. In Kenya, politicians are asked to please steal a little. That's what they do in Kenya. They are begging them. I think I'm making it up. Look at the headline from New York Times.
Wow.
I'm telling you. The corruption in Kenya is what we call in Nigeria stealing. Here are the items that politicians in Kenya, they are caught stealing. Listen to this. Some politicians were caught spending thousands of dollars, buying condom dispensers. That's the story. Then they bought pen, $85 each for their staff. In Kenya, yeah. And there are some, they're not kidding in Nairobi. They are serious about their stealing. One politician was accused of poaching wild animals. They do everything. Another one went and took over the playgrounds of schools to build houses.
Wow.
This is what should learn from Nigeria. They should learn from, they embarrass us. The kind of, they do it first time.
Yeah, they turned into mansion.
What?
Yes.
Do you have a land there? Now, listen to Professor Lumumba talk about the difference between Tanzania and the government, how they manage their resources, and other African countries.
And if you ask them what is the instruction of your fifth president, John Pombe Magufuli, they do not know and they do not care. They only know that he's a bulldozer.
Now, Professor Lumumba told his audience how ethnicity in Tanzania is different from ethnicity in Kenya.
If you ask Tanzanians what was the ethnic extraction of the second president of Tanzania, Mzee Ali Hassan Mwinyi, the Tanzanians do not know and they do not care because it does not matter.
Wow.
I know. I mean, the Nigerians can learn something from that. Now, listen to what he said about talking about his own country, the difference between Tanzania and Kenya. What?
You ask the leaders from my own ethnic group, the Luo of Kenya. The Luo will tell you we have been marginalized for too long. The time has come that God must smile upon us.
And now here is Professor's submission on what Kenyan politicians need to do to get close to what is available in Tanzania. Watch.
I'm submitting to us that the country called Kenya needs to come to Tanzania here on a benchmarking tour, and that the President of the Republic of Kenya and all our parliamentarians should sit at the State House and be lectured by John Pombe Magufuli on the finer points of governance.
Wow.
I know. This is wonderful. This is wonderful because people don't know the differences in these African countries, how that implies and what it means for countries like Nigeria. Now, as expected, Professor P.O. Lumumba took a swipe at Nigeria. They always want to take on Nigeria. Listen to what he said.
Right now in Nigeria, the Igbos want to secede, and they are being warned by the Yorubas and the Northerners. There is need for political hygiene.
Wow.
I know. He's following the news in Nigeria about these people, Igbo people trying to leave the country. You know, listen to what he said. Listen again.
Right now in Nigeria, the Igbos want to secede, and they are being warned by the Yorubas and the Northerners. There is need for political hygiene.
Are you not surprised?
Yes.
The man knows what's going on. Wow. That reminds me. So how is the Biafran agitation? How is it going? How is it going? Believe me, it's a weekly thing now. You know, the countdown to October 1 is on.
Yes.
Your family, are they back? It's on.
It don't pass me.
It don't pass you. You are finished. If you have not moved them on, you have to move them. No, the countdown is on. The quick notice is going on. Now, as we speak, last week...
We don't want to leave anymore.
You don't want to leave. They are not asking you for your opinion. Last week, Nnamdi Kanu continued his wide consultation across Igbo land and across the South.
Bad condition.
There's no more bell and no more condition. Here he is after a meeting with Dr. Ikedife in Nnewi. Watch. Look at it. And here he is in Port Harcourt after meeting, what's his name? Dokubo. Is that not your brother? Dokubo, yeah. Watch. So if you are the federal government of Nigeria, what are you going to do? The genie is out of the bottle. The toothpaste is out of the tube.
Hey!
Have you tried to put back toothpaste that came out of the tube? That's the dilemma. You know, in an interview with a foreign journalist, it was clear that Nnamdi Kanu that went to prison is still the same one that came out almost 2 years after. No change.
Hey.
Listen to him.
Do you think you were treated in a fair way by the government? Or rather also by the justice system?
No, not fairly, because Nigeria is not a civilized country. People behave like animals. They're not reasonable enough. They're not disciplined enough.
No change. He said, and this is funny, he said that Jonathan was incompetent. That Mama Peace would have been a better president.
Wow.
Did you see that headline? I said, damn! No, he threw our Otuoke man under the bus.
Hey.
I tell you, Governor Fayose will not be happy about that. Femi Fani-Kayode will not be happy about that. And I think Nnamdi is just breaking his bridges. You know what I mean?
He's burning the bridges.
He's burning it down. Meanwhile, the rest of the country is reacting. There's something we're doing in Nigeria now. Either we're thinking, where is Buhari? Is he dead or alive? Or what did Nnamdi say or do? Now, former governor of Kano State, you know him, Senator Kwankwaso. Yeah. He told Nnamdi last week to shun Biafra and run for president in 2019. You know, that could happen. You know, it's not something that's impossible. It could happen. And I tell you, it could only happen after Majek Fashek shuns Igbo and weed and becomes a pastor. That's when it will happen. Once that happens, you know that Nnamdi is going to run for president. But if it doesn't happen, forget about it. Now, from Mina, Niger State, the former president, military president, and one time, what is he called? He called himself evil genius. Evil genius. He was quoted to have said, and I quote, "Time to restructure Nigeria has come." Time to, you got it. Time to restructure Nigeria has come. I said,
get right here, man. Shit, I'm saying, get in Igbo.
But what changed? How did he turn around? I will tell you. The man is in the final lap of the race to heaven. He's trying to make heaven. That's all. His legs are gone and everything is going. He's just trying to see if they will allow him. There's no hope. I don't think there's any hope for him. Meanwhile, the Anambra State-based political party, ABGA, has written Nnamdi Kanu to warn him to desist from making pronouncements about elections in Anambra State. you know, Nnamdi said that he vowed that there will not be election in Anambra State on November 18th, unless Nigeria gives him a date for a referendum for Biafra. Now, so Abga, they wrote him a letter, and in the letter they just said, look, my man, stop saying anything about Anambra State. Stop. This is what I quote. This is what they said in the letter. In the letter, they said they want Nnamdi not to think himself as Igbo emperor. I'm like, no, they did not go there. Didn't Abga know that Nnamdi is the son of a king? Haven't they seen that the way he's treated anywhere he goes? Yes. Can they get people bow for the man? The truth is that it's too late. It's too late to stop him. The crown is unrefundable. Yes, exactly. He cannot refund it. It's over. It's over. I know what you are thinking. What happened? Why didn't I talk about President Trump? Yes. I just jumped into Africa and Nigeria. Why? I turned everything upside down. What happened? No. It wasn't the crap that people write for me. No, that wasn't the problem. No, I saw. I will tell them. I saw something that touched me this week. Something that made me feel so bad that the great American president is being treated this way. The man is obviously the most abused politician in the world. Watch for yourself. That's it. When I saw them kicking on the butt of our president, I gave up. I said, I'm not part of this. I'm not part of this. No more. How can they do? The president of the United States, you're kicking his butt. I'm out. Wow. Show that again. Show that. Hey, Sasha, show that thing again. Oh Lord. He will be mad. I'm telling you. Meanwhile, from the Vatican, Pope Francis, he's our favorite Pope. Yes. We love Pope Francis. He kicked the butts of Catholic priests in Imo State. What? Something must have happened that made him so mad that he kicked their butts. Since 2012, these priests refused to accept the bishop that was posted to them. Oh yeah, the former Pope appointed a bishop for the Diocese of Ahera in Imo State. And they refused to accept him. What? Oh yeah, they said, no, we don't want him. And guess what? He's not from Rwanda. No, he's from Anambra State, that state near the equator between Biafra and Nigeria. You know this state? He's from there. And they said they don't want him. Watch.
Lauren, during the audience, the Pope requested simply that the diocese receive Bishop Okpaleska. And Pope Francis asked that every priest in the diocese, whether he resides there, works elsewhere, even priests that are from that diocese who work abroad, he wants them to write a letter of apology personally to Pope Francis, asking for forgiveness for their disobedience.
The Pope gave them, the priests, all of them, 30 days to write a letter of apology or be fired.
The Pope added, whoever fails to do this within 30 days is ipso facto, which means by the very fact, suspended from all divine things, such as the celebration of the sacrament. So,
I know if they are fired, they go and marry. And that's not a joke. The Pope is not joking. The Pope is not playing. He considered dissolving the whole diocese and merging it into another big one. But he changed his mind. This time he was mad. He was as mad as the day that Trump visited him. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You are now thinking that you're drawing in conclusions. You are saying, you are thinking that these are the same people who want Biafra. They can't even be together. They can't even allow a bishop from Anambra to be the bishop in Imo State. Yes. Bad boys. You all are bad boys. But remember, when the premise of an argument is wrong, the conclusion is also wrong.
Yes, absolutely.
Your premise is wrong and your conclusion is wrong. Yes. Now, this is what we call Twitter taunts. We look at tweets that people are sending out, famous people, and then we react to that. Now, the tweet you're looking at is that of Senator Ben Bruce. You know him? The internet senator, yeah. Common sense senator. There. Look at what he said in the tweet. Nigeria can only become wealthy when we identify the thing that we can do better than any other nation. And that thing isn't to drill or sell oil. That's what the senator is saying, that we have to identify what What? No. No. So this is my reaction. Dear internet senator, we pay our senators more than any other nation on earth. How do we translate that into wealth? It's been a week, he hasn't answered. It's been a week, the man has not answered. He hasn't answered us. Here are some stories making headline news across Nigerian newspapers this week. Internet constitutes great threat to Nigeria's survival, says the vice president. Have you heard anything like that? I'm sure either the man has started smoking something or that the evil spirit in Aso Rock has gotten hold of him. How can a lawyer say that internet is now the most serious threat in Nigeria? Exactly, Ezioku. That's my reaction too. Ezioku, it makes no sense.
He can start selling telex.
There's something wrong somewhere. The evil spirits, they're getting to him, obviously. This is from the Senate president. Senate will address all petitions from Nigerians on injustice and corruption. No, you will laugh more when you know who said this. This is Bukola Saraki.
What?
But yeah, that's what he said. You know, I know what this man wants. He wants to throw around so much hypocrisy that he will give all of us post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. It looks like you have one. Were you not in Biafra during the war? We have an ex-Biafran soldier here. He must have a PTSD. Flashback. He's not remember. When he hears Biafra, he remembers when he was in bush with. He's then gone. But Buhari will finish his tenure as president, says the acting president, Oshibajo. You know the guy. Yes. You know this acting president. He's a very good pastor. He prays even when he talks. in fact, most of the words coming out of his mouth are prayers. Like that one, that Buhari will finish his tenure. It's a prayer now. Yes. It cannot be anything else, It's not a statement. Don't take it as a statement of fact. That's what we're praying, that he will finish. Because if he doesn't, the Ariwa youth to Oshibanjo, they said, sack NSA and DSS bosses and the IG of police, or else we will protest. You know the guys that said that Igbo people should leave the north. Those kids, I don't understand them. Do they know that El Rufai is looking for them? Do they know? How can they be calling press conferences and making statements like this? I don't think they know. They don't have any idea they're being looked for. They don't care. Anyway, Zamfara State Governor Abdulaziz Yari, you know him. He's only your friend. He bought a $1 million mansion in Maryland. Wow. Yeah, that's Sahara reporters reporting. Now, I don't know what's the problem with that, other than the fact that the state has no money to buy vaccines for meningitis. I don't understand the problem. What's wrong with that? After all, his house is near where Abubakar Atiku has his own house. Orji Zokalo has his own house. These are important Nigerians who dream of being president. Who knows that man may be dreaming of being a president? The only difference is that Atiku cannot go into his house anymore. And Orji Zokalo, one woman died in the house and he abandoned it. Who knows? Yari will soon have a reason not to come into his house. $1 million. How much is your apartment where you live? This is from Fayose, our February governor. He says, Buhari on life support for 20 days. Needs prayers. This is Fayose. Yeah, I don't know how he found out. Do you know how he found out? That was so kind of him. Don't you think so? That was so kind of Fayose, to ask people to pray for the president. But what he did after he said that was what blew people's mind away. Watch. Obviously, he didn't mean what he was saying there. He didn't mean that. Now, this is for you, my man. I always bring one for you. This is for you. The last one is always for you. I still iron my wife's clothes, says Pastor Adeboye. Yeah, he irons his wife's clothes. He was going to say that he still washes the wife's kinika, but it was on Sunday. He didn't want to. People were watching, on Sunday. So he said he irons their clothes. This is sign of how to be humble. When have you cooked? Humility. When was the last time you cooked for your wife?
After life.
After the wedding.
After life. God forgive me.
Forgive me for hearing this. It's time for your
email.
It's time for your email. It's time for your
email.
Wow. So what just welcome back.
Thank you.
So
you welcome me every
wait, yeah, because you're different today. So what happened to your uniform? Can you explain to our people?
Doctor,
why are you wearing black? This is the beginning of summer. People supposed to be happy, show off. You know, what are you? What happened?
Show yourself.
Did Trump try to deport you?
Show yourself.
Tell me what happened. Why are you wearing black?
Doctor, I have to tell you offline.
Offline, okay.
Offline.
Okay. All right. Do we have emails today?
Every day, doctor.
Okay, let's hear them, please.
All right. Our first email is from CQ in Amsterdam. I hope I'm saying it right, though.
Yeah, Amsterdam, the Netherlands. You know.
Red light district.
Why are you talking? Why are you talking about?
What do you know about that?
Kids are watching. Don't talk about this thing. Kids are watching.
Hey.
When we get up there, we can talk about it.
I've been there, by the way.
You've been there. What been there?
She was one of the
I've been there.
We know what happened. We know what happened. Okay.
Next time you go, buy me Ankara or Orlando.
All right. Okay, all right. Let's hear it.
All right.
Yeah.
He writes, "Hello, my quack doctor."
Wait. And this guy is my friend. And you brought his email to read on my show. All right, go ahead.
I'm just reading the email.
Okay, go ahead.
My name is CQ. No, thank you. I do not need your treatment.
Hey. And you started it. You want to spoil my mood.
This one that you are always complaining of Baba ruling from the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Are you not doing the same thing from the greatest city in the world? Before I leave, tell me please, are you with the government, against, or just a realist? Keep up the good work, my man. I'll offer you free blood.
Wait. He said something.
This is the most. Look, of course.
Wait. He offer me.
Keep up the good work, my man. I'll offer you free blood. Whenever you are in Amsterdam.
Wow. Wait. Tomato, just cancel that my trip. Cancel the trip to London. Let's move it to Amsterdam immediately.
What a man. You are a road boy, man.
Legalize it and I will advertise it. You know, this is wonderful.
Why?
Take note of his phone number and address. Book me to the next flight. You know what I mean? Now, for people who are saying, does this support the government? I don't care about government. You know, I cannot even say I don't know what. I just diagnose, you heal yourself.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter. I present it the way I say it, irrespective of the person concerned. So that's the way it is. You know, I don't care whether you're government or not government, whether you are, what's his name? Apostle Suleiman. Where is my man?
You have to leave that man alone.
It worries me that he's not, people stop going to his church. He should do something. Can't he find another actress? You know? Okay, all right. Next email, please.
All right, our second email is from Engineer Obani Chukwuemeka.
Look at the way she called him. This Lillian, I think they moved to Nigeria. They don't want to go back home. Chukwuemeka, you know, better than some Nigerians.
From the Philippines. No, I have a friend with that
name. A friend, quote unquote. You know, she didn't put that quote unquote. A friend. Yeah, from the Philippines. People are watching us in the Philippines.
I'm telling you.
Wow. Okay.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah. So what does he want?
He writes, Dear Dr. Damages.
Yes.
I commend you for the good work you do through your show.
Email we want. Yes.
Though. For 11 days, but however, though.
Yeah, go ahead.
Though I'm an Igbo from Imo State, and I'm completely against Biafra.
Yes.
With free money from the center, the Eastern governors can't get their acts right, and the misguided youth think getting Biafra is the panacea to all their problems. It will be a mere substitution of slave masters, with Nnamdi Kanu having a god complex. If those representing area youth can be called youth, then I'm not yet a teenager. The problem with Nigeria is laziness. The last born is producing all the money, and the three elder Agbayas They're ranting. Keep up the good work.
Wow. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. You sound like an engineer. Did he say he's an engineer? You know, very precise. You know what I mean? I like that. Often in life, the solution to today's problem constitutes the problem of tomorrow. Sasha.
Tweet that out.
You know, that's what I'm saying. But the guy is an engineer, solution based. And not people who complain.
Talk, no action.
No action. Next.
All right, our third email is from IK from Ontario, Canada.
Oh, they're up there.
We are going places.
We are going places.
International.
Yeah, friend.
He writes, Hello, Dr. Damages. I'm a regular fan and viewer of your program, which is the newest entertainment program on around the world, in form of news. You see, I'm telling you, international.
You're the man.
Please, may I inform you? Sequel to your recent announcement on Miss
Puff.
Yes.
I know the man has been talking about Puff all the time. Yeah, you know.
Okay, please, may I inform you? Sequel to your recent announcement on Miss Puff takeover of job belonging to Miss Tomato Jaws. She makes the show sweet, just as you do too. Your show cannot attract viewers without enough laughter, which, of course, Tomato Jaws does well.
That's why we're reading this email. Otherwise, it would never be right. You know, I see.
When she talks and add that her laughter, it makes me to be happy, even though I might be in a sad mood before coming to watch the show. I love Tomato Jaws, and I'm willing to support your program financially.
Wait. Stop making noise. The man is writing an important letter.
This is it. We've been praying for this.
Go ahead. The man is this is the most important email.
Financially, as long as she's there.
Oh, you see, that's spoiled the whole thing. That's spoiled the whole thing. Yeah, wait.
But he's not finished. Do you know the best news?
Okay.
Do you know the best?
Yeah, what is it?
News?
Yeah.
Plus Njakiri.
Oh, he's joking. The man is just joking. He's just putting my leg. Wait. How do these people know that we are struggling here financially? How do
you say it all the time?
Have you been talking behind my back?
Have
you been showing your paycheck?
I can't tell you.
Have you been showing? Okay. I don't worry. Tomato Jaws is not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yes.
As long as Donald Trump is president,
as long as
and her name with her name, it's impossible for her to get a job anywhere else.
Doctor!
I'm just telling you, you know. Trump and her name mixed together, nowhere. That's it. Now, next, that's it.
I think that's it.
Okay, yeah. That's all the time we have for emails. Please keep sending your emails to drdamages@gmail.com and follow us on Twitter @DrDamages and on Instagram @DrDamages. Now, here's my concern for today. It's taken from page 419 of the book This Thing Called You by Henry Stanley Haskins. And it says...
Haskins.
Who wrote that crap? Okay, go back. Haskins. Okay, go back. Okay. Here's my concern for today. It's taken from page 419 of the book called This Thing Called You by Henry Stanley Haskins. And it says, what lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. I go far to get this.
How far?
I go very, very far. Until next week, I'm Dr. Damages. I diagnose.
You heal yourself!
4th of July, big holiday. Independence Day.
Of course.
So, and the beach. What beach can they see you? Where are we going to see you this holiday? I'm going to Virginia Beach.
She said Lumley Beach, which is in Sierra Leone.
I'm going to Virginia Beach. So if you are around Virginia Beach, come and see me. Where will you be seen?
Miami Beach. South Beach. No, I've been so big.
Come to Tampa.
Tampa. Are you going to Tampa?
I will be so
I just
you see, there are Sierra Leonean people here. They think they can take over the show.
Why not?
But the Nigerians are more. You know, it can never happen. You know, Nigerians are more. So,
I go to South Beach.
So,
South Beach.
Yeah.
Hey. You know what happens there? Hey.
That's where you live? Wow. Brooklyn. Brooklyn by the bus. Anyway, to all Americans, happy Independence Day.
Happy Independence.
See you next week. Yes.
Welcome to Fayose Luxury Hotel. At Fayose Luxury Hotel, we offer excellent service. Our rooms have all the necessary facilities to make your stay comfortable and memorable. You will also have access to internet service, breakfast, 24-hour power supply, full air condition, free international calls, free tire pumping service, and free car battery charge. So what are you waiting for? Quickly visit Fayose Luxury Hotel. We are located at number 1 Adeola Mishile off Raji Rasaki Road, First Estate, Amuwo, Odofin Festac, Lagos. For more information or reservation, please call us on 08075787135 or 08099900601. You can also take advantage of our online ongoing promo at www.fayosehotel.com to make your reservation and payment for your favorite room, which attracts a discount rate. Please note, rooms are reserved based on first come, first serve. Fayose Luxury Hotel, experience the home of comfort. They come.